If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it. And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break.
The London Ring Awards were meant to honor the best in boxing, a glamorous event where the sport's top stars gathered to celebrate their achievements. However, amid all the excitement, one major absence stood out: Gervonta "Tank" Davis. While many of boxing's biggest names made their way down the red carpet, Gervonta Davis was nowhere to be seen. His absence quickly became the topic of conversation. It didn't take long for Tank to speak up, and true to form, he didn't hold back. He fired shots at everyone, from boxing executives to Terence Crawford, and his feud with Crawford is only getting hotter.
It sets up the headshot. Nice right hand after going to the body first, starting with that.
Davis's absence wasn't just noticed, it was felt. The lightweight champion, known for his knockout power and bold personality, clearly wasn't happy about being left off the invite list. He took to social media to share his frustration, posting a series of messages that he later deleted. But by the time he removed the posts, the damage was done. Fans and reporters had already captured screenshots of his words. Davis didn't hold back in his posts. He questioned why certain people were invited while others, like himself, were left out. Why didn't they invite everybody? He asked, adding that they only invited people they deal with. His words were direct and left no room for doubt. He was angry and made sure everyone knew it. But he didn't stop there. In another post, he took aim at Eddie Hearn, calling him a little rat and accusing him of pretending to be a big deal in boxing. What made Davis's rant even more shocking was his direct criticism of the Riyadh season organizers. Without naming anyone, he made it clear that he wasn't happy with how they were running boxing. They want to act like this guy is good for boxing when he's not, Davis wrote. If he's so good, why isn't he helping the fighters from where he's from? Fans quickly figured out that he was likely referring to the growing influence of Saudi Arabia in boxing. But the most controversial part of his rant was his attack on fighters who take big money deals to fight in Saudi Arabia. Unlike me, he said, a lot of these fighters leave home for Saudi money, but in the end, barely anyone shows up to watch their fights. His harsh words seemed to mock the growing trend of fighters accepting huge paydays to fight overseas.
I like what he's about. He's all about making the big fights happen, and I'm all for that, you know. But I've got a team, you know, I've got a professional team with me, and everything is all.
As expected, Davis's comments sparked a lot of reactions in the boxing world. Some fans agreed with him, saying he made a valid point about how the sport is being managed. Others, however, accused him of being bitter and jealous about not being invited to the London Ring Awards. Whatever the case, it was clear that Davis's words hit a nerve. And sadly, one person who didn't hold back in responding was Terence "Bud" Crawford, the current undisputed welterweight champion. Crawford, who was at the event and even met with some key figures, couldn't resist poking fun at Davis. On social media, he wrote, "I see somebody mad they weren't invited to the Ring magazine gala," adding more fuel to the fire. Fans quickly noticed the ongoing tension between the two fighters. This wasn't the first time Crawford had thrown shade at Davis. After Crawford's impressive win over Errol Spence Jr., he heard that Davis had claimed he could beat him at 147 pounds. Crawford responded calmly but firmly, saying, "Tank is a great fighter, but there are levels in boxing. If he thinks he can step up to 147 and just knock me out, he's got another thing coming."
How you feel about that fight? Is it even possible at a catch weight?
There ain't no catch weight. You come up to 47.
You're not even entertaining the catch weight.
No, I'm not.
He's a champ though too, undefeated.
And what champ? Come on, man. Tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at.
All right, I'll welcome.
The ongoing back and forth between Davis and Crawford has led many to wonder if they'll ever face off in the ring. However, the chances of that happening anytime soon seem unlikely. Crawford is focused on bigger goals. most notably a potential mega fight with Canelo Alvarez. After meeting with key figures, reports indicate that Crawford is close to finalizing a deal to fight Canelo later this year, which would be one of boxing's biggest events. On the other hand, Davis is heading in a different direction. He's set to face Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st, a fight that most people expect him to win. But for Tank, it's not just about the fight itself. It's about what's next for his career.
Y'all can do whatever y'all want. My mother, he can't stop nothing over here.
None of that.
Not at all.
Tell him I'm gonna f him up.
Not at all. Never.
Davis's recent outbursts on social media show he's very concerned about how he's seen in the boxing world. In one of his deleted posts, he accused the London Ring Awards organizers of overlooking real talent, saying they only care about fighters they can control. He felt they didn't appreciate what others bring to the sport. Some critics believe Davis is simply upset about not being invited to the event, especially since he's one of boxing's biggest stars. For Davis's supporters, though, his comments reflect frustration with an unfair system.
Orthodox. No, it's not. I don't man, you see it right there. You know, he's the
Who's got more money, Bud Crawford or Tank Davis? You guys are fighting over this on Twitter, calling each other names and liars, and you're capping and you're a hater.
Many believe Davis is speaking out against an unfair system and admire him for having the courage to call it out. Crawford, on the other hand, seems unfazed by the drama. He's focused on his next challenge and isn't letting Davis's comments distract him. But despite Crawford brushing off the remarks, the idea of a fight between the two still sparks interest. Both are incredibly talented, but with very different styles. Davis brings explosive power and aggression, while Crawford shines with his technical skill and ring intelligence. If they ever faced off in the ring, it would be a fight to remember.
That's why I respect Tank. Hey, Tank, you got a new fan, dog. You got a new fan. You a real one, dog. As of late, you've been showing me you a real one. I like that. Yes, you've been showing me that you are a real one. Now, if you go over there and take back everything you said, and you kiss...
For now, fans can look forward to some exciting matchups. Davis versus Roach and Crawford versus Canelo. Both promise to be thrilling events. However, even as these fights approach, the verbal battle between Davis and Crawford continues to heat up. Adding to the drama is Davis's earlier statement about retiring by 2025. Last year, during a press conference, he shared that he didn't plan to fight past that year, saying, "I've given my all to this sport."
You sparred Tank, you faced Crawford. Tank said he'd stop Crawford in 6 rounds.
Yeah.
What happens if they were to fight?
I don't think Tank will stop Crawford. I think that that's a big bully up there at 147.
Davis has said he plans to retire soon, mentioning he has other things he wants to focus on in life. But if that's the case, why does he care so much about not being invited to an award show? It's a question many fans are asking, and only Davis can truly answer. In one of his most controversial social media posts, Davis criticized those who attended the event, accusing them of selling out for big paydays from Saudi Arabia. Whether you agree with him or not, there's no denying that Tank knows how to stir the pot. Davis, known for his blunt comments, took aim at Crawford's claim of chasing greatness. In a series of now-deleted posts, Tank questioned whether Crawford's pursuit of legacy was genuine. He suggested that Crawford's financial situation wasn't as impressive as people thought, saying, "I still make more than you." Davis implied that Crawford wasn't really focused on building his legacy, but rather on securing big paydays from high-profile fights. This wasn't just a casual opinion, it was a direct attack on Crawford's reputation, suggesting his true motivation might not be as noble as fans believe. Gervonta Davis has been outspoken about his concerns regarding a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. He believes the matchup is more about Crawford chasing a big payday than it being a true competition. Davis isn't the only one with doubts. His trainer, Calvin Ford, has also questioned whether Crawford is fully prepared to face someone like Canelo. In an interview with Fight Hype, Ford acknowledged that while the fight would be significant, he still thinks Canelo would come out on top. "Canelo is the king," Ford said, showing his respect for the Mexican champion. He added that it would be a good fight, but based on Canelo's recent performances, He sees the Mexican boxer as the likely winner.
Terence Crawford, Canelo's the king. Whatever he say, you know what I'm saying? But it's a good fight. I like to see that fight. The outcome of it, you know what I'm saying? And then watching Canelo been making some good moves, you know, as far as fights and whatnot, you know. So again, he's the king, you know what I'm saying?
So it didn't look like
Ford expressed a cautious optimism about the upcoming matchup, but also highlighted some concerns about Terence Crawford's recent performance. Crawford's move up to the 154-pound weight class to face Israil Madrimov attracted a lot of attention. While Crawford won the fight, he didn't deliver the kind of dominant performance many expected. Ford pointed out that it was Crawford's first fight at that weight, so it's understandable that he needed to adjust. However, Ford wasn't ready to fully back Crawford's transition to higher weight classes just yet. He compared Crawford's situation to that of other fighters, like David Benavidez, who also faced challenges when moving up in weight. Ford explained that the key to success in this transition is making those adjustments. He hopes Crawford gets another chance at this weight so he can prove he's still at the top of his game. If not, Ford said, that's when questions might arise.
The likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. Me and Turkaraj know each other, and then we wanna see what.
Ford's analysis went beyond just looking at Crawford's skills. He also considered his motivations. The veteran trainer believes Crawford is moving up in weight mainly to secure a big fight with Canelo Alvarez, which would bring a huge payday and add to his legacy. Terence is a bad boy, Ford admitted, recognizing Crawford's talent and drive. He's moving up because he wants that fight. It's not just about greatness, it's also about the financial reward. Ford's comments, while respectful, align with criticisms from Davis, who suggests that Crawford's decision isn't entirely about seeking greatness, but also about making money. This has sparked a growing debate. Is Crawford really pursuing legacy by taking on one of the sport's biggest names? Or is he making a smart financial move as he nears the end of his career?
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
For Davis and Ford, the answer is clear. Crawford's decisions are driven as much by securing his financial future as by building his legacy in boxing. Ford points out Crawford's age and the urgency to make key moves, which highlights this perspective. While there's no denying Crawford's talent and accomplishments, Davis and Ford's comments reveal a growing divide in how fighters approach their careers. Davis and Ford's comments reveal a growing divide in how fighters approach their careers. Some aim for greatness through consistent dominance, while others target major fights that not only define their legacy but also bring huge paydays. This isn't the first time Crawford's motivations have been questioned, and with Davis and Ford now weighing in, the debate over his potential fight with Canelo has only gotten more intense.
Dance from the dream off. That's for him about my dream off.
For that fight, it's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because then everybody's gonna say it's too small, it's too small, it's too small, and then, you know, he need to enjoy his fight.
Okay. Davis and Ford or support Crawford, one thing is clear. The boxing world is watching closely as this debate continues. Davis and Ford firmly believe Crawford is after more than just greatness. Both Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis have built legendary careers, dominating their weight classes at different times. Though they're currently 3 divisions apart, the idea of a potential fight between them has generated plenty of buzz among fans and experts. One voice that stands out in the conversation is the legendary Roy Jones Jr., who shared an interesting and thoughtful take on what a fight between Crawford and Davis might look like.
You got a glass?
He said, I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147 for him.
Ooh, see, oh, man.
You're going to have a pre-camp.
Crawford started his career at lightweight, the same division where Gervonta Davis currently holds the world title. As Crawford moved up through the weight classes, he made history by becoming the undisputed champion at super lightweight, a division where Davis has also earned a title. Crawford then continued his rise by dominating the welterweight division and recently making his debut at 154 pounds. Meanwhile, Davis has stayed strong at 135 pounds, holding the WBA world title and gaining a reputation for knocking out almost everyone he faces in the ring. Despite the size and weight difference, Davis once claimed he could knock Crawford out, a bold statement that sparked plenty of speculation. Crawford, the bigger and more experienced fighter, has dismissed the idea of Davis being able to punch above his weight. However, Roy Jones Jr. believes the potential matchup isn't as impossible as it may seem.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. Give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What he got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over and start beating the guys around him. He's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would?
In a recent interview with Real Life Productions, Roy Jones Jr. shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Crawford and Davis, and his opinion might surprise some. "That's a good damn fight," Jones said, grabbing immediate attention. While he acknowledged the size difference between the two, he suggested that if the fight were held at a catchweight of around 145 pounds, it could be highly competitive. Jones highlighted that both Crawford and Davis have unique qualities that would make the fight exciting. He added, "I don't see anyone beating Bud unless they're much bigger than him, but don't sleep on the fact that if he and Tank fought at 145, that's a good damn fight." Jones believes Davis could be a real challenge for Crawford. Because of his explosive power, he emphasized how explosiveness is a key factor in boxing, especially when it comes to balancing out the differences in size between fighters.
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
147?
147.
Shit, I tap that chain, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he
ain't
is.
got no chance.
I already know he is.
He said no chance.
Jones believes both Crawford and Davis have exceptional boxing IQs, but he points out that Davis has one major advantage: his explosiveness. "An explosive fighter can go far," Jones said, explaining that this is something Davis has that fighters like Errol Spence lack. Drawing from his own experience of moving up through weight classes, Jones credited his success to his own explosiveness, which allowed him to beat opponents who were naturally bigger than him. He emphasized that explosiveness forces opponents to stay alert. Jones noted that Davis's ability to generate power quickly could cause problems for Crawford in the ring. While Crawford is known for his boxing IQ and technical skills, Jones thinks Davis's explosive style could make the fight unpredictable and challenging for both fighters.
And forgot what the other one is all about. As Terence Crawford is that movement, that upper body movement.
Listen, Crawford is a beast. I don't think nobody in their right mind is getting in the ring with Crawford after the performance. Spencer was the best competition that Crawford could have faced.
While it's unlikely that Crawford and Davis will ever face off in the ring, Jones's analysis offers a unique perspective on their different styles. Crawford, known for his ability to adapt and break down opponents, is a skilled tactician who has proven himself across several weight classes. Davis, on the other hand, is a powerful puncher with knockout ability that can end a fight in the blink of an eye. According to Jones, it's this mix of power and speed that makes Davis a real threat, even against someone as accomplished as Crawford. At the moment, both fighters are focused on their own paths. Crawford is eyeing a high-profile fight with super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez, which would require him to move up 14 pounds in weight. It's a bold decision that shows Crawford's ambition to cement his legacy as one of the all-time greats. Meanwhile, Davis has announced plans to retire by the end of the year, with his next fight scheduled for March against Lamont Roach Jr.
Right? Yeah. And I got a metal shield. And the opposite person got a glass shield. Okay, champ. Who gonna come on top? The guy with the metal shield.
If Davis follows through with his retirement plans, the idea of him facing Crawford will remain just a fantasy. Still, the thought of these two elite fighters sharing a ring continues to excite fans and analysts. Jones's perspective adds an interesting layer to the discussion, reminding everyone that in boxing, nothing is ever set in stone. The sport often surprises even the most seasoned experts. Although the size difference between Crawford and Davis makes their fight seem unlikely, the potential for an exciting showdown, as Jones put it, is undeniable. For now, fans can only dream about what might happen if these two top stars ever meet. What do you think? Was Tank right? And how do you see boxing's future with the Saudis getting more involved? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.